Guys, look at the new robe that I got. I don't know what animal this is. What is it? I got my friend Leah this for her birthday today, and I picked it up at Ross for $15. And I had to get myself one. Alright, y'all. In all seriousness, it is Q&A time. I posted a Q&A 3 weeks ago. Sorry, I've been so busy doing other things. My challenge just started and I had to get a lot of stuff together for that, so I was really busy doing that, and it's been really fun so far, but now I finally have time to do the Q&A for you guys. So this is gonna be the fitness and nutrition Q&A. So I already did the about me Q&A. You guys asked me like about myself, and I talked about myself. Now I'm gonna talk about educational stuff for you guys. Man, I'm really pale, huh? I have burgundy matte on my nails. I've been loving matte for the fall. I just had black matte, now I have burgundy matte. I'm probably gonna go back to black next time. Anyways, so I would like to say, just first and foremost, to kind of like get this out of the way, I'm not going to answer questions about what my macros are or what my cardio is. Not because I think it's like some big secret. Like, I'm happy to share with you guys my experiences on Snapchat, on YouTube, on Instagram, and like tell you guys like tips about what I do, but like my exact numbers about what I'm exactly doing aren't going to help you. Does that make any sense? Like, what I do, sure, I can explain things to you guys that are going to help you, but if you just kind of try to copy what I do, it's not necessarily going to benefit you. Like, it might, but you have to figure out on your own what works for you. So just to preface everything, I wanted to say that first. So I got a lot of questions and I'm going to try to answer them as best as I can. I kind of tried to like combine some of the questions, and I have like a little Word document written out for my answers to my questions because I want it to be organized, and I tend to ramble, kind of like I'm doing now. So first and foremost, first question. What are the most filling low carb foods? So I was the queen of this for my prep. I actually kind of like screwed up during my prep because I didn't know about smoothie bowls and I did not know about cauliflower during my prep. Like, I don't know how I got through it without those, because those are what I use now to make everything filling. I add cauliflower to my salad for more texture and more fiber. Cauliflower has like 5 carbs and 4 fiber or something weird. Like, no, it's 4 carbs and 2 fiber for a serving. So that's really good. I put it in my oatmeal. Spinach has the most fiber for like a green leafy vegetable, I've noticed. So if you're low on fiber, fill up with spinach. It's 3 carbs and 2 fiber for a whole thing of spinach. I did like huge salads, spring mix, zucchini. I know a lot of people who are prepping get really bloated from like broccoli slaw, Brussels sprouts, and like the raffinose vegetables. So I kind of stayed away from those and stayed to mostly salad, spring mix, cucumber, zucchini. Also, potatoes. I saw a little thing, potatoes are shown to be the most satisfying complex carb. So if you're finding yourself hungry, use sweet potatoes or white potatoes to help satisfy your cravings. Tips for first-time competitors. So I did not vlog my competition prep because I didn't get a camera until like it was almost over. But Brittany Lesser, she has a really good YouTube channel, and she has a whole bikini prep series, I believe, and Ellen LB Fit Body. They both have really, really good competition prep series on their YouTube channel, so I would recommend going to check them out. Okay, next question. What do I think about cheat days? Cheat meals slash days? Days, absolutely not. Meals, maybe, but I believe that calculated refeeds are far better in terms of staying in your caloric deficit and making sure you don't backtrack a shit ton. And I'll tell you why. So if you have a cheat meal and you're in a caloric deficit all week, right? And you go out and so some people have cheat days, which I think is just insane. If you have a cheat day or a cheat meal and you're in a caloric deficit all week and you kind of just have like freedom to roam about whatever kind of meal you want, unless your coach kind of says like have 1 burger with a small side of fries or something like that, that's fine. That could be helping you and actually doing what it's supposed to be doing. But if you just have all of the freedom to eat whatever you want, you could very easily go over your surplus in calories for the week, and then you can backtrack and like ruin all your progress for the week. So if you're in like a 500 calorie deficit for the entire week, and then you go ahead and have like 1,000 calories over what you're supposed to be eating, you're no longer in a deficit. So you kind of just like backtrack for the whole entire week. Thousands of calories can be consumed in one sitting if you have no structure. So it could be detrimental to all of your progress that you made. So I hear a lot of people telling me like, I have cheat meals, but I feel like it ruins all my progress that I made for the week, and I feel really bad even doing them. So I do calculated refeeds or carb cycling, high carb days. They're all the same thing. I tell people, have higher carb days and lower carb days during the week. So the high carb days are going to do what a cheat meal would do. However, you have the guidelines to stop at a certain point of carbs, and it's not going to make you go over your deficit for the entire week. And I got a lot of questions about carb cycling. I'm going to do a whole entire video about carb cycling because you can talk about that for a long time, and it's very confusing to a lot of people. So I'm going to do that for you guys. How to get back on track without being pissed at yourself. A lot of people, this kind of relates to the cheat meal thing. A lot of people feel real guilt, and guilt about food should never really be a thing as long as you kind of like understand that there are no good and bad foods. There's only foods that are more nutrient dense, less nutrient dense. As long as they fit within your macros and you're eating a generally healthy diet, then you shouldn't feel guilty about eating like a brownie if it fits your macros, you know? So, but regardless of whether or not you do flexible dieting, you can get off track and you can still feel guilt about that. My advice is to really just like be strong and take it with a grain of salt, take it for what it is, take full responsibility and move on. You just continue on as quickly as you can to get back on track. And it's really just about like your mindset and staying positive and not being mad at yourself. Loving yourself is a huge part of that. So being able to take what would have normally made you feel guilty and just say, okay, I did this. Now I'm going to learn from it, use it as a learning experience. Every single mistake you make is a learning experience, and you can't really take it as something that you totally messed up because you learned something from it. You learned that you feel guilty if you mess up or get off track, so just take it as a learning experience that doing that again might make you feel that way again. Someone asked me, which I think is a really good question, how long did it take you to initially get in shape? So this is something that a lot of beginners get really discouraged about because they feel as though that they're not in the shape that they want to be in. My mom just started my 8-week challenge, and she's like, I have so much body fat, I feel really bad about myself, and it's a day 3. It's day 4 today, where she's back on track. So it takes a long time, guys. It took me years to get in the shape that I'm currently in today. It took me a couple of cut and bulk cycles, some that weren't structured bulk cycles, but more just like me kind of eating what I wanted and messing up and like accidentally gaining muscle because I was accidentally in a surplus. But still, it took me years of training to get to like where I am today. So if you're looking at me or like another Fitspo Instagram account or whatever, don't compare your progress to mine, because if you're just starting, you can't compare your chapter 1 to my chapter 20. Like you just have to focus on yourself and remember that enjoying the whole entire process of you changing your body and learning about your body is what's supposed to be fun and enjoyable to you, and then knowing that you'll eventually get there and see the bigger picture is also super important. So I kind of talked about this in my "But what if I fail" video. I'll put the link to that right here. But why would you short yourself already before you even started? Why would you not start just because you're scared that it's going to take a long time? Don't set yourself up for failure before you even start. Set yourself up with a plan, and then you'll eventually get there. Another really good question, how long should an off season really be? This is a good question, I think, because a lot of people think that like they take 5 to 6 weeks in between shows and they call that a building season. It's not. After your show, if you are reverse dieting and you have a plan, you're probably going to be in a deficit for like 1 to 3 weeks, maybe even a little longer depending on what your goals are. before you are back up to like maintenance. Your body is at maintenance kind of like wherever you are, whatever you're maintaining at the time. So if you're maintaining on like 1300 calories at the very end of your prep, that's your maintenance. So you have to get up to a certain point to be past your building, to be like to be in a surplus, to be able to grow muscle. So I don't see why people think that like in 5 to 6 weeks they're gonna grow a significant amount of muscle, because you're not, especially if you're a female, especially if you're all natural. Muscle building takes time, guys. It takes like a decent amount of time. If you jump right back up to like a higher calorie amount right away, this does help restore your hormones a little bit better than slowly bringing them back up does. You will initially gain a little bit of fat, so kind of be prepared for that, but it does kind of help in getting you to the point of muscle building quicker. You will gain a little bit of extra fat, and you will have to burn that fat off the next time you're cutting. So for me, what I wanted to do was I wanted to stay relatively lean, so I didn't have to cut off the excess fat when I was cutting again, burn off more fat than I really needed to gain in order to start cutting again. So I did it a little bit more slowly, but if you don't really have anything coming up like I did, like I had photo shoots and stuff, you can jump right back up to a higher calorie amount, restore your hormones a little bit better, and start building muscle a little bit faster. But again, you'll gain like a little bit of more initial weight than someone who like reversed slowly back up to that point. So for example, my last reverse diet, I did it completely different than this one. I really wanted to eat as much food as possible before my next prep started. So I had like 4.5 months. I brought my calories up pretty high, and I actually gained like weight, probably more weight than I really wanted to. I'm maintaining at like 112 right now, and I'm still building muscle. I'm building muscle, I'm in a surplus. And I was like 107 on stage or so. So I'm probably about 5 pounds up. And my last reverse diet, I got up to like 120 was my highest, or like 118. Which is like a little high for me. Not that it's bad. I actually used to maintain at that. I used to maintain at like 115 to 118 for like a very long time, but that's before I had all the muscle that I have now. Like I've actually spent time building my muscle, so that means I weigh less because I am a more dense human now. I am smaller because I have more muscle and I'm more dense, that's why. But now I'm taking like 8 months to build, guys. Like I think I built some muscle in my last reverse diet, but I also had to like more drastically cut my calories in order to be ready for stage on time. So I gained the extra fat, I had to cut calories a bit more drastically, so I probably lost that muscle that I built in my short 4.5 month off season last season. Does that make any sense to you guys? I kind of learned that yes, I could have built muscle in my last off season, but I also gained a lot of excess fat because I tried to do it more quickly. And if I just did it more slowly and gradually like I'm doing it now, and I'm probably about like halfway through my building season with where I kind of want to be before I start like a serious cut again. So if that gives you guys any perspective, I hope it does. Someone asked, I'm doing my first show soon. If I take a couple of days to just eat, will I blow up like a balloon? The answer is probably yes, and I will tell you why. It all really depends on what your prep was like and what your peak week is like. So if you are doing a flexible prep, if you are incorporating a variety of foods into your prep the whole entire time, if your calories are at like a decently healthy level by the end of your prep, and your peak week does not include cutting water or cutting sodium, you're probably gonna have like a less chance of blowing up. You're probably gonna eat and enjoy food, but your sodium and your water isn't gonna be low to start with. So when you eat those high sodium, high calorie foods after your show and the day after your show, it's not going to be as drastic of a increase in sodium, so you're not gonna retain all of that water. And likely you're probably not going to be drinking a lot of water while you're consuming your like post-show drinks, post-show eats, whatever. So that's why you're gonna be like holding on to all the sodium and the water. If your prep was restrictive, if you restricted foods, if you cut water during your prep and you cut sodium during your prep, you're definitely going to have a higher chance of sodium retention. I've even heard of girls going to the hospital for severe hypernatremia post-show. Hypernatremia means too much sodium. Natremia, sodium is Na. It's like a medical term. Anyways, I've heard of girls going to the hospital because they severely cut water and sodium, so their body was depleted of water and sodium. So once it got that sodium back, it was holding on to all of it like for dear life, because it was like, oh my god, I'm in starvation mode, I'm in like death mode, I need to hold on to all of this right now. So and you don't really, like I said, drink that much water post show because you're not really paying attention, you just want to go out to eat and have fun and have some drinks. So your body holds on to all that sodium and it retains all of it, and you can just get severely blown up. Aside from that issue, if you're eating for like a few days post-show, you're probably going to retain some water and gain a little bit of fat, and I will tell you why. So like I said before, whatever you're eating for your prep at the very end of it, probably like the last 2 to 3 weeks, whatever that average calorie amount is probably where you're maintaining your body weight at that point, right? If you're consuming 500, 1,000, 2,000 calories over that, you're probably going to be storing a lot of those calories as fat. So I usually say enjoy yourself post-show, even the morning of. Enjoy some treats, stop when you're full, don't like continue binging all throughout the night. But if you do it for a few days, you're likely going to hold a lot of that as fat because your body is not used to eating that many calories yet. So you're maintaining at the lower calorie amount, you're consuming like double the calories for a couple of days, you're gonna store some of it as fat. How do you get rid of the feeling of cheating on your diet and urges to overeat? If you have ever had any issues with binging or overeating, those urges and feelings don't really go away. I'm constantly at home doing work. This is my new little desk setup. I'm in love with it, by the way. I'm constantly at home and I'm constantly kind of like looking at the kitchen, which is right there. I feel those urges all the time, guys. They don't really go away. You just get better at managing them and you get better at controlling them, and you I spend a lot of time talking to myself and realize, like, telling myself that overeating or not sticking to my macros isn't what my goals are. It's not going to help me in any way at all. So a lot of positive self-talk is what really helps me get through that. But like, the urges don't necessarily go away. The less that you give into them, the less strong they'll be. What is the difference, or what are the benefits of like a bodybuilding style routine versus a powerlifting routine versus an athletic style routine? A lot of people just focus on the bodybuilding routine. So for example, bodybuilders usually just do bodybuilding. They do isolation exercises, so bicep curls, they do a muscle group a day, or like 1 or 2 muscle groups a day. They do push-pull legs. They focus on isolation and muscle groups, and really getting like the blood into the muscle, things like that. That's what a bodybuilding style routine is. I incorporate powerlifting into my bodybuilding routine, so I kind of call it like a power building routine. I personally think that combining powerlifting and bodybuilding and like athletic style training is going to give you the absolute best results, and having like a variety of different ways that you exercise is going to give you fantastic results. And I will tell you why. Bodybuilding style routines, it's really difficult to get in a lot of volume, and when you are training and you're trying to build muscle, it's really important to continuously have a set amount of volume that you're trying to hit, and then increase it over time so your muscles don't get used to just like the set volume 3 times 12 reps for 10 pounds of bicep curls every single time. You want to continuously progress, if that makes sense. The best way to get in volume and the best way to activate a lot of muscle groups at the same time are to do the big 3 lifts: squat, bench, and deadlift. Personally, I don't bench just because I used to have like a shoulder injury, and working my chest muscles just makes my shoulders anteriorly come in this way, and it kind of caused my shoulder to have an issue. So I avoid doing chest. I do flat bench dumbbells once a week, twice a week, just like 2 sets, just to kind of get them in there. But aside from that, those 3 are the most muscle activating. So when you're deadlifting, you're activating your hamstrings, your glutes, your quads, your core, your lower back, your thoracic spine, sometimes your biceps. You're activating a lot of muscle groups and you're getting in a lot of volume. So if you're bench pressing often, you don't really have to do a lot of accessory tricep work because you're getting plenty of volume in, and that's the way your muscles are going to grow more quickly and more efficiently. So just incorporating everything. If you're not incorporating the big 3, or at least squat and deadlift, for females or for anyone who has like an injury like I do, I also do hip thrusts and like Romanian deadlifts. Those are also like heavier compound lifts. If you're not incorporating those and you think that you're gonna get the best results by only doing bodybuilding style isolation, 1 or 2 muscle groups a day type thing, you should definitely think about incorporating those because they really, really make a huge difference. I really attribute a lot of my muscle growth to squats and deadlifts. So I have a funny feeling this video is gonna be pretty long, so I'm gonna stop here. I hope this helped you guys. I'm sorry I haven't been doing like more just regular lifestyle vlogging. My life has been kind of boring lately. I kind of just like sit here at my little desk and study and do work all day, so I don't really like do a whole lot, but I'm gonna try to like do that more for you guys. But until then, I hope these little like informational videos are really helpful to you guys. I know you love learning, and back when I was just starting, I literally listened to so many people's YouTube videos that were just sitting here like informational videos like this so I could learn. So the least I could do is give back to you guys and help you guys with what I've learned from all those people. So thank you guys for watching. Thumbs up if you liked it. As usual, my hitchhiker thumb is telling you to awkwardly thumbs up. Yeah, that was weird. That wasn't a cocaine thing. That was me trying to like be funny and pick my nose, but never mind. Okay, thank you guys for watching.